Welcome back to Already Overbooked. My name's Josh, and today we're going over my TBR for the month of August. And I'm going to be doing something a little bit different when it comes to my TBR. All right, I'm going to be joining Kevin at Kevin Towle Reads for his Indie Author August event, where the rules are very simple. Read two indie books in the month of August. It could be any genre, any book you want, but it needs to be two indie books, and you need to go through and promote them, either doing a review on YouTube, putting out a Amazon review, Goodreads review. Just go through and try to help push amazing indie authors. I love this idea as someone who truly loves indie books and constantly been reading indie books on this channel. Primarily this year, been hyper focused on indie books. I'm gonna jump in and join Kevin on this amazing event. Now, again, as someone who reads primarily indie, I need to do something a little bit different, make it a little bit harder for me rather than just reading my normal set of books. So for this month, I'm going to be reading 6 books, but they all have to be from a different genre within the indie space. So we're going to have science fiction, we're going to have high fantasy, we're going to have literary fiction, urban fantasy, horror, and then, of course, the viewer pick of the month. I am so excited to jump into each and every one of these books. So let's go in, and without further ado, let's jump into the first one, which is science fiction. We're going to be going through and reading Down Below Beyond. This book is about Lod Space, which is a collection of worlds dominated by a fleet trade empire. And thanks to the Voltan portals, alien civilizations from all over the universe can go through and gather for glorious trade. For the wealthy, there has never been a more lucrative circle, but the fleet is hiding something from its investors, a secret that, if exposed, could bring the empire to its knees. Lavort is a prospect on the planet of Toyoxi. While scavenging the waste of the abandoned world, he discovers a mysterious starship and stakes his claim on it. Little does he know, he just made himself the most wanted man in Lod Space. So this sounds amazing. I've been looking forward to getting this one for a while. So that's my Down Below Beyond is my science fiction pick for this month. So the next one is high fantasy, and I'm very looking forward to this one. It is Whispers of the World Breaker. So Ark's job is simple: assist the elves as they move to dragon eggs across the kingdom. When an orc raid leaves a dragon in peril and her eggs vulnerable, the responsibility falls into Ark's hands to complete this mission. But when the dragons hatch, Ark's life is thrown into disarray. Accused of being the world breaker of old prophecy by the elves, sought after by the ever-growing orc clans as vengeance against the elves, and desired by human kings and queens for power. Arik will stop at nothing to protect his new dragon. It may be the only thing that can turn the tides of the war. Can Arik fight fate and save the world, or is he destined by the whispers of a world breaker? This book has been on my TBR for a very long time. Super excited to go through and jump into Whispers of the World Breaker, my high fantasy pick of the month. So jumping into the literary fiction pick, I've decided to go through and read What We Left Unsaid by Winnie M. Lee. Super excited to jump into this one. This is about the Chu siblings who haven't seen each other in years, but when they're told that their ailing mother is scheduled for an operation next month, they agree to visit her together. Then their mother makes an odd request. Before seeing her, they must go on a road trip together to the Grand Canyon. 30 years ago, a strange incident had aborted a previous family trip there. No one's ever really spoken about this incident, but during this journey, the middle-aged Chu siblings have no choice but to confront their childhood experience. This, it sounds very interesting, a lot of fun. Super excited to jump into What We Left Unsaid for the literary fiction pick of this month. So for the urban fantasy pick, we're going with Obsidian Murders. This one is about Tessa O'Hare, who is tired of people thinking she is crazy. She's growing up sensitive to the supernatural and deemed mentally unstable by every therapist she's ever seen. And Tessa moves to Washington, D.C. to start fresh. But when there are two murders in her neighborhood that reek of magic, she's a bit obviously freaked out and utterly regretted her decision to become a semi functioning adult, seeking aid from a vampiric detective, a grumpy house fairy, and several local Wiccan covens. She is determined to use her ability to help. I am super pumped to go through and check out an amazing urban fantasy story of the Obsidian Murders. So, jumping into my horror pick of this month, and we are going with none other than Tomb of the Black Pharaoh. In this Lovecraftian tale of horror and espionage, Tomb of the Black Pharaoh follows Robert B. Danforth, once a scholar, thought he'd left the horrors of At the Mountains of Madness behind, but World War II has pulled him into an even darker mission. Now working for the Covert Office of Information, Danforth is sent to where Nazi occultists are on the verge of unlocking an ancient evil buried deep underneath the desert sands, the amulet of the Black Pharaoh, Neferin Ka. This artifact is capable of granting unimaginable powers. It's sought by the SSSD to turn the tide of the war and perhaps even the future of humanity. This sounds like Indiana Jones type story. So super excited. Love Indiana Jones. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting based on this. So super excited to jump into Tomb of the Black Pharaohs for my horror pick of the month. And finally, for viewer pick, this one is a book that dominated the polls. It's going to be Arcoma, written by the great Calum Lott. And this is a uh, Western sci-fi fantasy type of story. So hiding from her tortured past, Nelsa endures deadly duels by day and drinks herself numb at night. While she rots away in the saloons on the outskirts of Arcoma City, the ruthless Salazona tightens her stranglehold on the desert planet and the stars beyond. After an unlikely proposition sends her on the path of vengeance, Nelsa must rally her fellow outlaws for a daring heist that will change the course of the wild frontier forever. I've heard so many amazing things. I'm so happy this book got picked, and I'm definitely going to go through and jump into this wild Western type story. So, super excited to jump into Arcoma. And that's my indie author August TBR. We have 6 books, 6 genres, and I am super hyped, super excited. I'm want a little bit of chaos, switching up the genres throughout the whole month. Definitely as a mood reader, super excited. Let me know down in the comments which one of these you're most excited for, or if you read any of these, I want to hear from you, your thoughts. Obviously, spoiler free. Don't ruin anything for people. But yeah, I want to hear from you down in the comments if you've gone through and read these, and I want to hear how fantastic these are. If you haven't already, make sure to check out Kevin Towle Reads and join the Indie Author August Challenge. I'll drop all the information down below. But of course, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. You know what to do. Till I see you in the next one, stay overbooked.